This is great news if you've never liked Brooks' 12mm drops in the past. I have to say I'm much more in favor of these shoes due to their rocker geometry. This is max speed, this is max cushion. The question lies whether you want your next shoe to be Hey guys, welcome back to the Time to Run channel where I do most of the research so you don't have to do it all on your own. My name is Joel and it's time to run in a brand new pair of shoes. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Brooks Ghost Max. But before I start the review, I just need to go over a couple of disclosures first, as Brooks themselves have sent me this pair of shoes for the purpose of review. However, they have not previewed this shoe review or given me any guidance on what they'd like me to say. I've also provided Amazon affiliate links in the description box below, and because using an Amazon affiliate link doesn't add any additional cost to you, it helps me out by them sending me a small portion of that sale. So if you see any products you like, please be sure you make purchases with those links. Thanks so much. Now let's dive in. The Ghost Max was introduced and available for purchase starting October 1st of 2023, at least here in the States, for $150. This neutral trainer is quickly becoming a fan favorite among the Brooks running community. So as expected in my US men's size 12, I feel like the fit is perfect. I personally don't feel like these are too large at all. There's enough room while maintaining a secure lockdown. So the upper is made of an engineered mesh here. Brooks calls it their air mesh. It's really comfortable, and the upper gives me the perfect amount of give I need while keeping my feet in a secure position for each stride. And for my long sessions, the toe box is a perfect size, giving me enough room for those toes to splay. It's also really breathable and gives the right amount of ventilation for temperature regulation. For the overlays, this pair of shoes has a bunch of nice overlays, including their form strip right here along the side, distinguishing on all Brooks shoes. Something I noticed there is that there's actually no reflective accents on the shoe. It's pretty surprising these days. I feel like most shoes, most brands, at least have one or two accents for low light runs. And when I compared these to the novablast 3, this shoe really isn't visible at all in the dark, but honestly, if you're going to be doing any runs, you should probably use a light anyway. There's a nice rubber cover here on the back of the heel, for instance. If you're like me and you use the back of the shoe to take the opposing shoe off, these will help you with that. I don't know if that was the design intent in mind, but nonetheless, it's a super convenient feature. I personally really love the clean look here with the all-white colorway. My favorite colorway, though, is definitely the one shown here. Yes, it's true and unfortunate how these, through the next 3 seasons, are going to get pretty banged up, pretty dirty. I realize this is definitely a fair weather colorway for sure, but I'm just going to enjoy the nice clean look for now. The tongue carries a non-gusset style that's very secure, not too padded, helps protect my front tendons. I haven't had any issues with bunching up in weird places despite the non-gusset style. And before we move on, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button while you're at it. Thank you so much. And the standard lacing system is no nonsense. It's straightforward. I found it useful to cinch up the laces from front to back to ensure a secure fit. They aren't too bulky, and they're also not too thin that they would dig into the tendons above your ankle. So let's move on to the heel. The heel collar is a really comfortable collar. It's perfectly padded and gets out of the way. The collar is very secure. You get a good lockdown with that. I didn't experience any abrasion here. It's really nice and secure. Also, my foot doesn't sit too high out of the shoes as well as with some other brands that I get. Get excited because we're talking next about the midsole. The DNA Lock version 2 is featured here, same as the Adrenaline GTS 23 and the Cascade 17. The big difference between this shoe, oh, and also the Ghost, but the big difference between this shoe and other shoes is that this has a more mellow drop, which I'll talk about here in a second. More volume for inclusive fit are the words Brooks uses to describe this midsole foam in the shoe. The glide roll rocker here is just super nice, helpful in propelling you forward when you want to use this midfoot to forefoot area of the shoe. There's a lot of midsole cushioning here and it's perfect. I would say if you like the More V4, this is more. There you go. It's a more stable ride and more resilient foam underfoot. Some might consider it a little less squishy than the More V4. I personally agree, and I think this is a really good part about the shoe. Something I agree with, and it's really, really comfortable. Talking about stability, on a different training run with a different pair of shoes, I happened to roll my ankle on an object on the road. It was a pine cone. Well, I used these shoes to help me recover during those times where I would go out for walks, post ankle roll, and they were just what I needed as far as support and cushioning to help me recover from that injury. These were perfect for that. By far, this is the most comfortable midsole underfoot for new shoes I've run in 2023. I also like how far the foam extends medially and laterally. These additions gave me a more confident ride than what I had experienced in the New Balance More V4. But before I continue talking about the midsole, please find that like button and give it some love. Because subscriptions are a helpful way in getting videos like this into your feed in the future, please click or tap that subscribe button. Both are simple and easy ways that you can show support for the channel. Thanks so much. This is a max cushion shoe, and boy do they deliver on the cushioning with an overall 6mm drop. This is great news if you've never liked Brooks's 12mm drops in the past, as seen in a lot of their other shoes like the Adrenaline GTS and the Ghosts. I have to say I'm much more in favor of these shoes, even more than their Adrenaline, due to their rocker geometry in the forefoot here. When compared to another max cushion shoe, this time the More V4, which I reviewed, and you can check that link out over here, the Ghost Max has a better center of gravity, being it's closer to the ground than the More V4. And this is an advantage because of the drop, which is slightly more aggressive indeed as well. So I really consider these a better shoe than the More V4 for sure. So my buddy Cody from the Shoe Inn and the Garage collaborated recently with me, and we had a conversation about the Ghost Max specifically as well. So check that out by using the link up here. And that leads me to the outsole. On the bottom, we have a nice siped outsole made of Brooks' own rubber here. I believe it's their green rubber. I could be wrong about that. So starting with the valley here, or canyon in the heel portion, this is just exposed midsole foam here. It doesn't appear it will really ever reach points of contact with the ground. There are some areas here right around these little divots and valleys, so on and so forth. You can kind of see some midsole foam getting some attention there on the tarmac, on the concrete sidewalks here. There are several more channels that separate each of these rubber pads here. May be useful for channeling out rain. Brooks has some really grippy rubber here. It's perfect for rainy day runs, and I imagine also in some of those inclement runs in the wintertime. But we have some strategically placed rubber pads here on the outsole. For all intents and purposes, it should make it very durable. The outsole for the miles thus far is holding up really, really well. It's very grippy. I'm only seeing some minor wear in places that are pretty normal for my personal foot strike. This ensures we're getting an outsole that strikes a perfect balance of durability and give, both for longevity and comfortable runs. And you know me, I've never really liked to predict the specific amount of miles I'm going to expect on the first review. But based upon the wear I'm seeing here, I'm hopeful and optimistic that we're going to get some pretty good miles out of this shoe. Likely even more than the More V4, which is right here. And let's see, that's kind of where we're at here. So as far as the outsole usage here. So this has about 250 miles. And we're just pushing, I think, 50 out of these ones. So yeah, how did it feel like running in these? For the first run, it consisted of a 6-miler. I had received these from Brooks a week or so after my most recent marathon. I half expected for these to be a shoe I'd just take out for long, easy miles, but I've been really surprised at how eager these shoes are at getting me into moderate to faster paces and for those daily run paces for sure. Incorporating hills with these was also very natural. They perform beautifully. I've taken them out on several runs since for the first miles, and I gotta say I really am pleased with these for sure. Even taking them on walks through my neighborhood has been really great as well. These certainly fit the bill for recovery, there's no doubt about that. In my mind, I would put this in the category of max cushion daily trainer, with its wingspan reaching in the direction of recovery as well. Whereas the More V4 right off the bat seems to be exclusively a recovery shoe in my opinion, while I really struggled to use it as a daily trainer. And I opted for other shoes to fill that category when I was running with the More V4. I'll give you the recommendation. This shoe is a max cushion shoe, no question. The question lies whether you want your next shoe to be a daily trainer or a recovery shoe, because this could make or break that specific qualification. It is inevitable I will be putting in a lot of easy recovery and long run miles into these shoes. However, they're not limited to just recovery runs or long runs in any way. I guess what I'm trying to say is that these shoes are really versatile, and their use cases really shine through here. So I covered the fit a little bit earlier, but just wanted to cover it again. The fit was true to size in my typical men's US size 12. The toe box is really roomy for my feet. It's a bit of a boxier design, so orthotics will be an easy addition to the shoe if you need that kind of customization for your shoes. So will these go into my rotation, and if so, where? These shoes are absolutely going in my rotation. They deserve a top spot for sure. I'll be inserting them into my recovery and long run shoe category. Their versatility really lends itself itself to being a chameleon, helpful in several different types of sessions, taking it out on those long recovery sessions and those long run sessions, whilst being able to pick up the paces if I feel so inclined. And while we're on the subject of rotation, as I see it, I personally would rather use a different shoe such as the Brooks Hyperion Max. If there was one shoe this year that I reached for the most and crowned as daily trainer of 2023, it would definitely be the Hyperion Max. The Hyperion Max offers some really great benefits that I found especially helpful during my marathon training blocks this year. However, I've already reviewed this shoe, the Hyperion Max, so check it out in the link right up here in the corner. Save it to your watch list playlist and come right back to this video. And this is the Hyperion Max. Different from the Ghost Max. Also, the word max is actually used differently. This is max speed, this is max cushion. I'd love to hear from you as to which shoe in the daily training category you'd like me to review next. Please leave the name of the shoe in the comment section down below. The shoe with the most mentions in the comments, assuming it's in my price range, will get the next review. It has to be, like I said, it has to be a reasonably priced shoe. So that concludes my review of the Brooks Ghost Max. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know by hitting the like button if you did. Please leave a comment down below if you have any further questions. Lastly, what category shoe do you plan on purchasing next? Is it a max cushion shoe like this one? Is it a daily trainer or a speed day shoe? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching, and if anyone asks you what your favorite running YouTube channel is, just tell them it's time to run.